how does someone get excited about their Mondays? Because that plays a lot on our mental wellness and health.
Oh, totally. Totally and absolutely. TGIM is, when I mention to people, I wrote a book called I Love Mondays. It's all about creating TGIM type workplaces. They look at me like with a deer in the headlight looks. It's like, what are you talking about? Have you lost your mind? It's got to be the shortest book ever written. Well, no, it's not the shortest book ever written. In fact, it's about 170 pages. It's a large font, lots of white space, easy to read, a couple of hours type of thing. So we did write a short book because we do recognize, all of us, that there's no real reason to love Mondays. Why? I got a to-do list as long as my arm. I've got a whole pile of stuff that I didn't get done last week that I need to move into this week. I've got 100 meetings this week. I've triple booked in some cases for meetings. I need to accomplish my to-do list for this week. And then there are people and their problems and their issues. And I don't get along so well with John or Fred or Susan or whatever the case might be. And so by Sunday night, this sense of tightness in our stomach or our chest or our shoulders or our neck starts to, sort of come into play. And that's not healthy. That starts this stress cycle. And that agitation, that sense of anxiety, we bring it into Mondays. And is there any reason to love Mondays? Well, I'm determined to change all that. And we wrote I Love Mondays, my co-author and I, Dakota Lamar. We wrote it because we wanted to help people. Well, that sounds, kind of pretty generic, but the truth is we wanted to help people improve the quality of their lives in their workplace, not just focused on what we as managers obsess over. You know what we obsess over? Performance. Hit the numbers, reach your goals, accomplish the objectives that you set for yourself. Now, I have nothing against performance. It's a wonderful thing. High standards, excellence, fantastic. But what I try to encourage people to consider is to not obsess over performance, but consider the other two valuable elements that are part of loving Mondays and every other day at work. And that is learning and enjoyment. Can you imagine that? Going to a workplace where I'm actually learning and having fun? And so when I'm learning and having fun, performance naturally improves.
Absolutely. So that's from a management perspective, to be able to create that culture of learning and excitement. On an individual level, what is it that we can do? How do we shift our mindset so that we can look forward to Monday? To your point, we feel extremely overwhelmed because we start looking at the calendar. We realize how long that list is. How do we get ourselves organized, our mind organized so that we're not overwhelmed coming Monday morning?
Perfect. I love that question because within the question, you touched on the two variables that are most valuable: shifting our mindset and what do we do? And by implication, what we do is we do things differently. So I want to talk about both those elements, right? The way we think influences everything. So for example, if you go into work and you think, okay, my job is to make sure I do things right. Right? That's my job. I got to do things right. I got to make sure other people do things right. Maybe I'm a manager. Maybe I'm a supervisor. I could just be an employee. So it doesn't really matter. But the point being, I got to do things right. That's my mindset. When that's my mindset, I am obsessed with that. And I'm constantly telling people what to do. I'm micromanaging things. I'm getting involved in everything. I have to have all the answers. I have to be the best at everything. But if I shift my mindset to something a little different, leader thinking. And leader thinking replaces I got to do things right with I help people get better. Can you imagine that? Now I view my work as being collaborative with you to help you get better. And as you get better and I get better, together we create better outcomes.